Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk, think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America stuck in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One, and tonight I'm going to be joined by a special guest, Tomahawk Tony, and we're going to go over and make sure the Indigenous people who are in our group or in other groups who are seeking to get in touch with their people here in America. We want to show you some of the ways that these Black identity extremists come off, these religious organizations that we in, all these things that we call ourselves, but we're really not. We're going to show you how these people act, how these foreigners act, and how we, since we like to follow, we get caught up in this madness. So we're going to give you a presentation on what this is all about. Joining me is Tomahawk Tony. Tomahawk, how you doing, brother? Tomahawk, you there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I appreciate you, man. I'm doing well. Just seeing this information came out like last night. Did you have a chance to watch that video about that massacre?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
See if you know how they do these video games, how people just be popping people. That's what it looked like. And so you can tell that those video games are very influential in influencing people to do stuff like that.
Yo, you're absolutely right, man. Yeah, the shooter had a GoPro camera attached to him.
Yes.
The video was very graphic. I mean, like that was a live man. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but at the same time, though, we got our American issues taking place right here. You know what I'm saying? Like for the past couple of years, we done seen our American people unknowing of their true identity and, all the confusion which has been bred by all these foreign religions, ideologies, and etc. All the confusion and social engineered madness, propaganda, etc. Our people have been doing Facebook lives of various violent behaviors. We had the World Star hip hop situations of various violence done to each other and against each other. This week, we just had this incident with a young man over there. I guess he's out of Houston, Texas or something. Young boy, I don't know how old he is, but he's a young YouTube sensation rapper. Young boy got caught up in New York, got robbed, got cut, this, that, and the other. And, these are things in which our youth have been directed to do. And then all these foreign organizations, religion, etc., they take our resources and then they have nothing for our youth out here. You see what I'm saying? Our youth have no guidance. I mean, everything is propaganda based, the entertainment, the consumerism, all of this stuff, all this trendy nonsense. You know what I mean? And so in regard to this massacre situation, I mean, this should not be any concern of ours. This shit should not take any of our energy. We have our own issues. You see what I'm saying? These people have been at war with each other. The Christians, the Muslims, the Moors, all these different people, the Hebrews, etc. They have been at war with each other for over 1,000 years. These people came to America and they done brought their conflict and confusion to our people and our land, and it's compromising everything that we know. And this is what we gotta. This is why we're doing this presentation, to make sure that our people are being attentive to what truly matters, which is us. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, man. It's you start to see it more and more now. Not only with this shooting, but I was seeing reading a news article that's on this page also about that college situation. Are you familiar with that? This college.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, not just this, what you got these Muslims and Christians and all these people fighting each other, but it's also for our minds too, because in these colleges, we will sell our children to get into these colleges. Yep. And you see when these brothers get in these colleges, how they're used as fodder just to make corporations money. And if you just seen this past week that just went by, these rich people are paying millions of dollars to get their children in the position that your children are in. These people are rich. These people can pay $3 million, $4 million, bribe off a professor to let their kids who are 5 and 6 at the time that they have a place in college right now. What does that say to you? What does that say to the average indigenous person? These people are paying, the whole system is a scam. The whole system causes confusion. And we're right in the middle of it. We're right in the middle with our chest stuck out, acting like we are making this happen. This is what I got. This is what is dictating my life. And all these people around you are committing a fraud. And you, the African American, think it's something real.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate, man. You know, the education system, you know, this is, I mean, so the history of education, from what I'm aware of, right? These education systems, I can't recall the book that I read some years ago, but it said how the English came to our American chiefs, right? Over there on the East Coast. This is like in the 1700s, and they was propositioning our chiefs saying, "Yo, send your boys to our schools."
Right.
And then our chiefs respond like, "Well, you know, we done seen what happens when our boys return from your schools. They no longer know the language. They no longer know how to hunt. They're pretty much good for nothing."
Good for nothing.
You know what I'm saying? And so then the Chiefs responded, counter offer was like, "Yo, how about this? You give us 12 of your boys and we'll make men of them."
Right.
Fast forward to what we see today. Our boys, our youth, if you will, generally speaking, you know, guidance from generation after generation has pretty much disintegrated. Discipline, value systems, morals, etc. I mean, every day via Facebook, social media, what have you, we got this male, female to male, this disruption, discord between our people, whereas people are pointing a finger at each other and they don't even know each other personally.
Not at all.
And then people who actually know each other in real life, they take that same energy, which is all propaganda based. I mean, focus on you and your people. Focus on who you can work with, who you know, who you trust, who you value, who you appreciate, and etc. Everything else is third-party nonsense. Just like this massacre situation. This has nothing to do with us. Things that do have something to do with us, we got too many people that, you know, they want to be sympathetic. But these foreigners are not sympathetic to us
at all.
They're not. They have no sympathy for us. They brought Christianity here. There are massacres that the Christians done did to our American people. People don't want to talk about that though.
You can just talk about the one where the guy went into the church down in South Carolina and did what this guy over in New Zealand did. Just started blowing people down. Same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. And people forgot about that one though, right?
Yeah. Forgot
about that incident. They said it was staged, this, that, and other. But the thing is, whether that situation that happened in South Carolina was staged or not, what's concerning here is the fact that they are projecting that kind of destructive energy onto our people that are vulnerable, that are exploitable, and that are generally ignorant of the reality that's taking place around us. So yeah, hey Buck, do you want to go ahead and jump into these documents? Yeah, let's pull up. Yeah, you already pulled up the Wall Street Journal link, right?
Yeah, that's the. What about this black Muslims? A definition of it.
Well, you already pulled. Yeah, go. Let's go to the black Muslim definition. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, black Muslims in Islam, especially in the United States, is a political and religious movement of black people. Remember this. When terms are used like black people, you have to remember when people are referring to you as something like a color, they're not really calling you a person. They're calling you a thing. And the reason I say that is this is just my own. I come up with this myself. This is why you must think. I know it's something that most of us never do, but you have to think. And if you ever look at anything that's black, the color black, your tennis shoes, your cell phone, your t-shirt, those things are inanimate objects. Those things don't move unless you move them. So when they're calling you a black person, they're calling you a movie. You're dead. And they just use you just like you use coal, just like you use lumber, just like you use cows. You're a thing to them. When we look at it like that, we can come up with ways where we can, play chess with that. But when we ourselves start calling ourselves that, we're making it even more impossible to get out of the situation. So when we call ourselves black, what are we saying? What are we tapping into? All these other cultures coming over here when they were children and their parents told them stories about the black monsters that lurked in their forest or not. And then they get to America and the first thing they see you out in the middle of the street waving your hands talking about you black. What do you think that does to their psyche? I know we don't think about it, but what do you think that does? When we call ourselves a thing, what do you think about that, Tomahawk?
Yo, I think it's horrible, man. Like people are not being properly informed. And as a result, due to their ignorance, I mean, just like how they say ignorance to the law is no excuse. And that's the truth of the matter.
Right.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And so for me, how I think about it, right? So we always hear this terminology, black minorities,
right?
Black minority businesses, all these different terms, right? But then when you look at the actual definitions of these things, just like how you said with black, right? Basically, black means dead, no standing in law. All right. So now, in regards to you having rights, well, since you call yourself black and you allow these others to call you black, you basically you have nothing to stand on. You don't exist. So anything that happens to you, it didn't really happen to you. People want to be like, okay, R. Kelly did this, but so did so and so. So did this Caucasian guy. Well, the difference is the Caucasian guy, well, he's known as being white. R. Kelly, he never corrected none of that as far as being black. He's known as a black artist.
Right.
That means that he's a dead artist. He has no rights. Regardless, if a crime was committed, though, you know what I'm saying, there should be punishment. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? Thing is, he should have been punished in regards to R. Kelly and whoever else. They should have been punished immediately upon evidence being provided. I don't care who it is. Thing is, though, we have too many people that accept this black identity, which is sad. The synonym for black is sad. And people engage in a lot of sad behavior and conduct. And that's just the truth of the matter. Now, next to that, you call somebody a minority. Well, you basically saying they need to be provided for. They should not. They are inferior. If you allow someone to call you a minority, you have literally been called inferior. Straight up, look it up. Look up the legal definition of minority. It literally says when you define minority, minor, and then infancy, it means that you are inferior. If you allow someone to call you that, that is extreme defamation of character, in my opinion. And we have these black Muslims, as described right here in this legal definition. Look it up in Black's Law 4th edition. It references Elijah Muhammad in there. And here it is. We got all these quote unquote black Muslims, self-determined black Muslims who have done nothing. And from what I've seen, I'm in my mid-30s, right? From what I've seen, they haven't produced nothing other than a whole lot of yap. We see what it is. The headquarters in Chicago, where the NOI is located, where the black Muslim headquarters is, right? We see what Chicago's looking like. The property value has been tremendously dropped. Meanwhile, gentrification is currently present. So this Muslim massacre that just happened, how does that affect our people in Chicago? How is that relevant? You see what I'm saying? How is that affecting our people in Chicago? Our people here, just right here in North America, where you have all these black Muslims running around. We don't benefit nothing from them. Mm-hmm.
Black Muslims, a political movement of black people adapting Islamic. Just check out the definition. A political movement of black people, dead people, adapting Islamic religious practices and seeking to establish a black nation.
seeking to establish a black nation. I mean, like,
yeah, they're making fun because they know we're dumb. This is what we throw ourselves. This is what we throw our fist in the air for. This is what we march day and night for idiocy like this. And so you can see by just this definition and the piece we saw on the terror attacks in New Zealand that Islamic stuff. Why are we into this? What does this have to do with us? How did we let a Pakistani man from Pakistan come over here and convince us that we're the lost tribe of Shabazz? Huh? This is the shit we own. How do we let this happen?
100 years later?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's been a while. It's the early 1900s, but seriously, as intelligent thinking people, how did this happen? And all the death and destruction in Chicago, the Nation of Islam will never get over the death of Malcolm X. Check this out. Can you imagine? Okay, so when we all live, so you said you're in your mid-30s right now.
Yeah.
When you get in your mid-40s, you're gonna evolve from what you are in your mid-30s. You're not gonna think the same that you are. Your thinking is gonna get higher because you're growing. That's all of us. So you think a person like Malcolm X, just one example. What this brother was killed when he was 40 or 39. What do you think information he could have passed down to these young males out here had he lived?
Yo, I don't know because. Oh, I'm listening.
How influential do you think he would have these cats today as opposed to where they are now?
Honestly, I don't even know because during his time, he was still a Muslim. He was still on that foreign nonsense, which do not pertain to our people. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I understand.
But had he lived, yeah, I'm sure he still would have been influential. But the thing is, though, it would have been negative. It would have been a negative influence because he wasn't dealing with truth.
But that's what I'm saying, and this is where we lose it a lot of times. You don't stay 5-year-old forever. You learn that you make mistakes and you change and evolve into something. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. Who knows if he would have still been a Muslim? He probably would have got off of that shit. But what I'm saying is, as you grow and evolve, you go around the world and you see stuff different, and you start to change. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. I mean, see, this is what I'm looking at, right? So let's say, because this is my honest perspective and opinion on a matter, right? If you have someone that has been working for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? Supporting corruption, perversion, right? Ignorance, telling people that they're black, right? When they all of a sudden say we're Aborigines, that's cool. Thank you for saying that. But guess what? At the end of the day, you did not say it enough in comparison. Now, true, if he had lived just like any of these people, and this is why we got to hold these organizations accountable. If this person is a byproduct of whatever organization, right? And this person, all right, represents that organization. I'm talking about any of them. If there is true growth, as they claim to be, that there is, well, shouldn't they all be of the same voice if they are for truth?
Well, but that's what he was showing. He was like, "Oh, I'm in a group that's full of shit." You know, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, as you're watching, so you can see the Nation of Islam. They teach Scientology now. Aren't they evolving? Aren't they changing?
You're absolutely right. The only constant is change.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's not, you're not gonna stay on the Nation of Islam. Some people do. So that's why when you say, what have they done? They can't do nothing because they're not evolving. I'm not saying Malcolm X was, he changed to Muslim Mosque Incorporated. That's still some bullshit. That has nothing to do with us. But at least he showed the world that, hey, these motherfuckers right here, they ain't the ones. I was in it and I got to change. To me, that's all he did, because it allowed me to say, don't get stuck on shit. Change when the times when it's needed to. You can't keep doing the same dumb shit over and over again, because many people was cool what Elijah Muhammad was doing. Aren't we having that same situation now where where these older cats are with these young girls? Isn't that Elijah Muhammad? Ain't that the same shit going on with R. Kelly? We're
You
not
absolutely right.
we're not evolving. We're not changing. We staying stuck in the same dumb shit that we've been listening to our whole lives. That's all I'm saying. You gotta
I agree
change.
with you.
You gotta
I
change.
agree with you. And I wanna pull up a point in which Yaya's world, much appreciation to everyone in the chat, right? Yaya's world just pulled up a great point regarding these individuals from these organizations have been moving towards multiculturalism. In my opinion, multiculturalism, that is like an advancement, a change, if you will, from integration into, just wanting to be a part of everyone else's situation versus your own.
You're absolutely right.
The foreigners have come here and they have literally worked to strip us of everything that's ours. They have claimed damn near everything of ours, man. Meanwhile, our people are dressing up, playing their role playing all these other foreign identities, and meanwhile the foreigners is slam claiming ours in the process.
Check.
And this, mm-hmm,
Check.
yeah, what exactly when it comes to property, when it comes to your rights and your identity and things of that nature, what do you have if you allow someone to steal it? And you are doing nothing to reacquire, to establish, to secure what is yours.
Opening
What
the
are
gates.
you
Opening the
left with?
gate. Opening the gate and letting them in. It's over there. Go get it.
Yep. And so yeah, can you pull up that FBI document right there? Because this definition of black Muslims, let me show you how, because this definition is from I believe from Black's Law 4th edition, right? That was like over 60 years ago. Okay. Yeah, if you go back to the email right there, yeah, I believe it's the last link.
Hold up.
Yeah, well, Elboria, let me just share this with you, right? The Hindus, if you talk to them, they themselves will tell you that they're not Indians. Talk to them. I'm serious. Talk to them. I've been meaning. I was in a conversation with someone, a Hindustan Bharat, a couple weeks ago, and I asked them, and they was like, "Oh, it's too much drama to talk about it." Because I'm asking them, how come they don't address it in their own countries? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Can you see it now?
So, yep, I see it. Black identity extremists likely motivated to target law enforcement officers. Okay, so this is an unclassified law enforcement document here. Now, I presented this on my channel back in 2017 when this first came out, right? Now, Mr. Yeah, can you scroll down? Because I want y'all to see what's being communicated here throughout law enforcement.
Tell me when
Because
to
our
stop.
youth are not being informed about this.
Tell me when to stop.
Okay, let me see right there. Okay, so here we go. Let's deal right there with the scope. Right there, that page you're on currently, where it says scope note.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's observe this document here. Now, this intelligence assessment focuses on individuals with BIE. That means Black Identity Extremists. Let's go ahead and break down Black Identity Extremists real quick. So we just shared with y'all, as y'all should be aware, Black means dead, no rights. Okay, you have no rights. So we're talking about someone that's dead, a dead identity, and an extremist. So you have a dead identity, right? You're dead. You have no identity, and you are an extremist. That's what's really being communicated here.
So you know what?
Okay?
You know what's being communicated to me just with the whole BIE, just that
Yeah, what's that?
a black person trying to come to life.
And that's if you're dead, how can you come back to life? I mean, we ain't talking about reincarnation here, right?
No. Yeah. But what I'm saying to people who are being trained to shoot your ass down,
Mm-hmm.
these people are trying to regain their foothold. These
Oh
people are
yeah.
trying to get some life.
Oh yeah. I was just speaking with someone yesterday, and this is why we encourage genealogy, because you may learn how your people's land has been stolen. I was just speaking to a woman just last night. You know, I'm not going to say too much about the situation, but in recent years, in recent decades, one of her relatives was ill. Within the 30-day time that a relative was ill, her land was stolen. So with the 30 days time, certain legal paperwork was filed and this, that, and the other. See, people be talking shit about paperwork. Well, that's how the foreigners fuck us up, via that paperwork and specific kinds of paperwork, filings, and etc. You understand? And we have to work together on this shit. How many black Muslim lawyers are there out there? How many black Christian lawyers are there out there? How many Hebrew legal scholars are there out there? And how many of them motherfuckers have done anything for our American people? I mean, let's be honest about this shit. Yeah, Jawan, McSween, they out here taking out stuff. That's right. That's what they're here for. We go through this document here, a black identity extremist. I mean, goddamn. And none of those people that's described in here, they said nothing about this damn near 2 years later. And this is not the first FBI report to come out regarding this subject matter. It doesn't say our American Indian people in here. It doesn't say the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Algonquins, or the Iroquois, this, that, and other. It don't say nothing about them. It don't say nothing about the Blackfoot, the Seminoles, and etc. The Muskogee. It don't say nothing about them. It's talking about these black Muslims and these Hebrews and etc. Right? So we have to inform each other. We have to inform each other out here, and we have to maintain a quality flow of information amongst ourselves, so therefore we can maintain a quality flow and direction for our energy. Like, our existence is literally on the line. Now, this is my concern regarding this shooting, this massacre, because that shit is real. I don't care what nobody say. There's a full 17-minute video. I posted it to African Americans and Africans group this morning. Full 17-minute video where it literally shows this Caucasian dude shooting these other Caucasians who are Muslims, if you will, literally shooting them like in their head, and like, I mean, blood everywhere kind of situation, like brain fragment getting blown out. You know what I mean? So we have to understand what our energy is going into, because we cannot be supporting those in which have absolutely no regard for us. We're still here in our land putting in work. The other people, they done left their land, they come in here and they try to put that work in on us due to our ignorance. The only way, I just posted something this past week. I found this picture looking up the California Indians Scout Bounty. Okay? Take a look at that. California Indian Scout Bounty, right? I found this picture where it says success or failure depends on the Indians. This is how serious the situation is. If our people ain't on point out here, the foreigners is going to be successful. Meanwhile, if we do what we're supposed to do, all those foreign agendas will fail. And they are fully aware of this, fully aware. So all these different distractions, and R. Kelly, a Jussie Smollett, these empire characters, you know what I mean? This is why I say kill foreign media, kill your TV, and etc. But yeah, hey Buck, you still there?
Yes.
All right, yeah, my apologies, man. I don't know if you want. I get excited, you know.
All right, where you want me to go to next?
You know what? Yeah, so the people that.
So no, I thought you was gonna finish reading this this assessment.
Yeah, let's scroll down some more. Yo, calm that shit down, boy. Yeah, let's scroll down a little bit. I forgot the page number. Yeah, past all of that part. I wanna focus on these where we're blatantly identified. Here, go right there. Whoa, stop right there. Go up a little bit, because this is key right here. So check this out. It says right there, convergence of BIE and Moorish sovereign citizen ideology very likely leads to violence against law enforcement officers. Well, now, we know that the Moors and the Muslims are closely related. Shit, if you like the information we're about to show you in a moment, I literally have shown that the Muslims, the Moors, the Hebrews, and the Christians are all the same shit. They're all the same shit. Now, when it comes to this right here, right, check this out. How in the fuck is these foreigners, these dead foreigners, self-determined to be dead motherfuckers, right? They self-determined that, right? How is it that they are telling our people all these different mythologies and theologies, ideologies and indoctrinations and all these different programs? How are they coming over here telling us this, right? And meanwhile, we're supposed to turn a blind eye to the fact that they have an identity crisis. I mean, from the leadership all the way down to the congregation. The congregation, in my opinion, is really full of innocent people. But the thing is, the innocent people end up being complicit through aiding and abetting corruption. These are our real world concerns as Americans. Our people need to be going out to these churches, to all these different quote unquote leaders, these pastors and etc., these imams and whoever else, what you call the Congressional Black Caucus. They need to be going out to them and asking these motherfuckers, why are you calling the people dead? Ask them that simple question. Why are you calling out people dead? Why aren't you telling the truth about our American people? Yeah, we already know these sold out.
No, I mean, because you know what? Because this is how I'm seeing it, dude. See, I'm calling it how it is. Many of these people in these groups, you just saw this chick Kamala Harris, right?
Yep.
So she got fried. Man, I remember I was in LA, man, they had black people thinking she better than Oprah. This is how the Negro thinks. Kamala Harris has nothing to do with the people here, but we'll take anybody here long as they can shake their ass. Ooh, that she on our side. So, and here's another example. And just think about this. When you get some chance and you sit down, just think about this. Many of us think that the Nation of Islam, it comes from over there somewhere in Mecca. The cat who started the Nation of Islam over here, Fard Muhammad, he was Pakistani. So just imagine the Pakistani ideology is going all through America, because we won't follow what our grandparents said, what our great grandparents put down. We refuse to do that. We'll go jump off into any foreign ideology that sounds, because all of it sounds stupid to me, and we fall into it. And this gets into our community and injects whatever they inject to, but you see the outcome. This dude is a Pakistani. So are we in their cultures over there like that? No, I don't think so. Do they follow the religious ideology or the spiritual ideology of your people over in Pakistan?
Hell no.
So this is what I mean. And we just always, well, I didn't know. Nobody told me nothing. I didn't know. We always come up with that. That's our only excuse. So, brother, I'm with you on this black identity. They targeting these brothers, and who knows what they have done. But this is the kind of stuff we pass down to our children and tell our children to go off and represent themselves in the world.
Yo, you're absolutely right. And let me share this. Let me add this to the equation too, right? So if you observe, and I've shared this before, right? Any of y'all that's seen a Malcolm X movie, right? Y'all see how he was converted to Islam when he was locked up. The person that converted him, and you can look this up, it's called a mufti. These are jailhouse recruiters. These are jailhouse recruiters, Muslims, Moors, etc., okay, who are there literally working with various foreign factions. So basically, our youth, right? Observe how this goes, right? So here it is, our youth. Unfortunately, mommy, daddy, grandparents, and recent generations have told our youth about Jesus, God, the Garden of Eden, Africa, because all that's where all of that shit centered at, right there in the Middle East, Africa, and all that shit. That shit's foreign, right? So now our youth are getting it both from these foreign religions. Now they're getting it from elementary school, middle school, high school, college, if they make it, right? Then what they have from the school, right? The school to prison pipeline, so they say, right? The school to prison pipeline. And so now that you, let's say you get incarcerated, right, for whatever bullshit charges, fake crime, criminal activity, what have you, right? Now you got Christians in there, Israelites, Moors, and these Muslims in there recruiting our youth. And this is what we have to pay attention to. We have to be aware of these things. Nobody else is talking about that shit. How we got so many people that come out of jail, get locked up daily, they come home, right? They get released, and then what? All of a sudden they a goddamn Muslim? As soon as they come, you know this kid his whole life, and then all of a sudden he a Muslim. After he done spent X amount of time with some random sniggers that's all up in them facilities, right? This is not a game. This is a real serious conspiracy. Not no theory. This is pure fact. The Malcolm X movie showed it, and then reality shows it that much more, and it's perpetual. I just spoke to someone not that long ago this week too. They told me their little cousin just got locked up recently, came home, and now he's a Muslim. This shit is real. And they want our people to what, feel sympathetic towards some foreigners? When the foreigners, they come here and they have no sympathy for our people. They set up shop strategically in our communities. We can't even set up, half our people don't even own businesses no more. Brick and mortar. Don't provide no eggs and milk for each other like we used to do back in the 80s, right? Back in the 80s, you could go to your people and get bread, milk, eggs, and whatever else you want to get, convenience stores and etc. Fast forward to now, who you looking at? Habib. And do you know that Habib and Habib's country of origin, you know, they got little boys they prostituting out there. They pimp their own little boys. How about that shit? So if these foreigners are willing to do that to their own people, what do you think they'll do to you? It's that simple. That's right, Elboria. My uncle came back a Muslim from prison. Yeah. Hey, Buck, remember a couple of weeks ago, right, or maybe a month ago, you told a story about during the time of Jim Jones over there in LA, how there was a neighbor that you had, right, who was Muslim, right?
Yes, sir. He
and
no, he was. It was a funny setup, and you can tell. You know, most of the in LA in the 70s, most of the people in LA, I would say most, but a large contingent of so-called black people that were in LA were coming in from the South, Texas, all the way back to North Carolina. They were coming to California for the jobs and the military jobs, number one, but also jobs. The city was growing, expanding. It's probably getting up there with New York in terms of numbers. And you had all of these so-called black families moving into the cities. So of course, people were coming from different places around the country, and they were bringing their different religious ideologies with them. So, and this was funny. I observed this up close, and I was like, damn. And I was a kid at the time. So you had us. We lived in a house, and we were Southern Baptist. Across the street from us was a Muslim family. They used to go to church at the Shrine Auditorium. Anybody familiar with LA, you know the Shrine Auditorium. Across next door to them was another Christian family. Across the street from them was the people who was in the Jim Jones cult. Behind the people in the Jim Jones coat was another Muslim family. This shit was so crazy, man. Well, you know what happened to the family that went over to Georgetown, Guyana. The family behind him, this brother was a Muslim. He strangled his son underwater in the bathtub, killed his son. I don't know the reason why. Nobody knew the reason why. But this dude was a Muslim, and Eric was only about 6 years old. He was 6 years old, and his father was one of these big buff, jail dudes, and choked his son to death. What was that about? This is what happens when we get into all these religious ideologies. These cats got things over there that we know nothing about. And they just tell you, assalamu alaikum, you get to have so many wives and some other, nonsense. Islam and Christianity, like Tomahawk said earlier, they the same thing. They both stories if you read them. And that's our problem. We don't read. If you get to page 2 of the Bible and you don't have 100 questions, something's wrong with you. We don't get into these ideologies. We don't understand what they are. We just jump into them because we don't go back to what our people did, what our people wrote, which what everybody else does, and they use it for our benefit. But unfortunately, we don't.
Yo, I agree. Now, okay, so basically, like, I don't want to be redundant with this VIE report. It's a simple Google search. Just look up Black Identity Extremists PDF, and you'll see the links are available. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of information available about this Black identity extremist situation. I would suggest that you define all the terms. Identify the definition of Black. Identify the definition of identity. Identify the definition of extremists. Look up the definition of a Muslim. And we talk about the legal definitions. You know what I'm saying? Look up what these things mean. Look up minority, look up minor, look up infant.
Let me share this, Tony Tomahawk, because this is important too. See, these are the terms that they use against you when they want to get rid of you. When they want to do gentrification, they'll just call you BIEs. To whoever's giving them the money will say, hey, you got to get rid of these BIEs. This is going on all over the country now. Where so-called Black people or so-called African Americans have been in communities for 30, 40 years, have done nothing in the communities where they live except drink and get high, sell crack, kill each other. And now that they tore down the community enough, now these corporations can come in and say, okay, we can tear this part down, move these niggas out, and start building our empire right here. And that's what's going on all over the country right now.
Yo, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's too much evidence of the corruption going on around us. There's so many people. They don't even want to address the corruption in which they know is going on in their own community. And yet it's still, niggas want to talk about uniting. How you want to unite with some people that don't even care about themselves, man? How does that work exactly? It's dysfunctional. It's calamitous. Black by default cannot unite with Black. Why? Because one Black person that's calamitous trying to unite with another calamitous person or sad, miserable person, it's just not gonna work. Horrible equation right there. Now, a Buck, can you I want to pull up this quote real quick. Let me see here. We got a series of PDFs there. Can you pull up let me see which one. Yeah, go to pull up. Let's go and take it from the top. Go to the third. Let's go to the third PDF. The one titled Part 3. Now, this is from a series in which I presented to the group a couple years ago. It's titled Who Are the Moors? Yeah, scroll the pages. Yeah. Look at this. Africans, Moors, Muslims, Hebrews, and Jews. Okay? Let me show y'all something real quick. And this is why we cannot allow ourselves to be absorbed into these foreigners' conflicts. They've been at war with each other over 1,000 years. Look at this.
So right here?
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, we can scroll through this.
Okay.
Matter of fact, let's get to something strong real quick. You know, we need some strength. Let's scroll down a little bit. I'll tell you when to stop. All right, bet. Let's stop right there where it says Hebrews.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, the Hebrew, whatever his capacity or experience, was in the eye of the law immeasurably inferior to the most humble and ignorant of those who ruled him. He paid higher taxes than anyone else. His testimony was not competent in a court of justice. He was excluded from the enjoyment of office. If having become an apostate through force or policy, he addressed a word to one who was loyal to the faith and traditions of his people, even though of his own blood, he was condemned to slavery. I mean, it's that serious.
And these are the people that we turn our spiritual beings over to. You will go down some more?
Yeah. But I got to send out this text message to the peoples real quick. I'm still here though.
Okay, tell me when to
I'm just multitasking. Yeah, if you can read that next section right there.
This period, coincident with the highest power and civilization of the Hispano-Arab Empire, had, however, been preceded by 2 centuries of uninterrupted progress. The enlightened policy of the Western caliphs from the accession of the Umayyad dynasty attracted to their capital the learned of every country and every profession. Of these strangers, the Hebrews constituted the larger proportion of any one race, excepting the Arabs.
Yeah, I mean, this is how serious this thing is. I mean, yo, these people have been at war with each other forever. Do you really want to involve yourself in their conflicts when they have brought conflict to us? I mean, ask yourselves that. Yeah, like this term indigenous blacks. How does that make sense? So that means you're from the soil, you're from the land, but you're dead. How does that make sense?
And while we're on this subject, let me make this abundantly clear. You see, when we try to learn all of these other cultures, this Arab, this Muslim, this Moorish, we start to use terms that really don't explain us. And we do it with such an arrogance, people turn around and use that shit on us. So Aboriginal, your people didn't call themselves Aboriginal. Your people didn't call themselves all these names, black, and they call yourself what your people call themselves. That's the best I can put it because I don't know each and every one of you. So call yourselves what your people call yourself. When you call yourself Aboriginal, you're saying you're not original. Damn, all you got to do is look up what ab means. And this is not what your people refer to themselves to. So this is what we do when we get caught up in all these religious ideologies and all these foreign interpretations of words. They are coming into your country. What do you say? And I realize that I'm talking to a lot of black people, African American, you realize that you don't have shit to say. And you just say what somebody else says to you, and you just turn around and spit that shit out on us. It's not gonna work. It don't, and you can see that it doesn't work.
Yo, when this
find your people.
Yo, exactly. Okay, so Yaya's world, you say, what the fuck do we call ourselves if we have complete, if we have, I don't know exactly what your question is, but I'm putting it like this. You identify your nations of people. Generally speaking, if you know that your people are from America, you are American. You can't get no simpler than that. Now, let's take a look at it, right? The Moors, they call themselves Moorish Americans. The Irish call themselves Irish Americans. The French call themselves French Americans, German Americans, English Americans. You have the Nigerians, Nigerian American. They call them, they have to put a prefix with American as a suffix. We are complete as Americans, period. Yo, J-Bot, good to see you, J-Bot. Appreciate you. If you know your people are American, because this is what it goes into. Now, Phoenix done shared this on her channel previously, right? Where she said, and this is truth, you can look this up. Every state is literally a country. This is why every state has a constitution. Okay, so now if you're going through your records and you see, okay, this is my great grandfather, my great grandmother here. Okay, and it says that my great grandfather, my great grandmother, fathers and mothers are from Alabama or Tennessee, Virginia, etc. Right? Well, that means that you are pretty much American, but you could go into that much more detail. You can look at the government printing office where you have a Georgian, you have an Alabamian, a Californian. That's still American. You are an American national if that is to be true. See, foreigners are trying to claim our identity, and this is why there's so much propaganda and confusion going on. And this is why we encourage, I'm not going to say California's an island, because all the times that I flew and drove over and through California, there was no breakage of the land. So I'm not going to agree with that, Michael Robinson. I'm not going to do that. But anyway,
let's take that, because that's a very important point that a lot of our people are into. See, what you and the answer you just gave was classic. See, we have all these people say California island. You haven't looked at it for yourself. You haven't went and did no work. You haven't drove across the Nevada border, the Oregon border. You done none of that. All you did was you heard somebody say California's an island, and you say California island. That's the dumb shit that we do all the time. We don't take the time to look up shit. We just listen to what somebody else say. Then you come back and spit it on the rest of the group, spreading more confusion. Dude, stop doing that dumb shit. Find out for yourself. It don't take much. It don't take much. That causes more confusion in the community than anything. You just listen to what somebody like a preacher in the church just tell all those idiots who in there listening what's going on. The people don't pick up the book themselves and read it. That's the equivalent to what you're doing. Dude, that causes too much confusion.
Exactly. Trusted and not verifying. Yeah. You know, we can. The time for foolishness is over. Like just like how we got people that's watching CNN. Oh, this massacre just happened. Oh, let them deal with that shit. That's their problems over there. We got our own shit to deal with here. None of these foreigners, these Muslims ain't set up no funds for the people in the communities and would support them every time our youth get killed or locked up outside and shit like that. None of these people come to our defense or aid. Seriously. We gotta, exactly. Stop being stupid. Jawan McSween, appreciate you too. You know what I mean? Yo, this is why we say coward season is over, etc. Kill foreign media, kill your TV, kill propaganda, kill confusion, kill foreign influence, all of that. This is why. We have to know what we're investing our energy and attention into. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, seriously. Look at the government printing office. I'll try to pull up the information and post it in the group sometime today.
You break it up tomorrow.
Huh? What happened? Hey, Buck.
You breaking up, man.
Oh, you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, Buck, can you hear me?
Excuse me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, you breaking up.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, can you hear me though?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Repeat what you just said.
Yeah, I'm saying like I'll try to post a video into the group. All right, so yeah, you know, let's go ahead and continue. Where we at? Let me pull the thing back up so I can see what's going on. Let's go ahead and go through some more of these pages real quick, because I really want y'all to understand how these Christians, Moors, Muslims, Mohammedans, Muslims, Hebrews, etc. All of those people are related. They are all related, but they don't want you to know that though. This is consider it like this, right? Hey, Buck, can you pull up a world map real quick too? I want to show y'all something.
Pull up
a world map.
Just if you any world map, or you want
Yeah, pull up a map showing America, and then showing the Eastern Hemisphere. I want to show y'all something. And then, as I'm saying this, I want you to think about what you've seen right here, from your own experience, right here in America. Yo, I don't know nothing about the Ethiopians, man.
You break it up, man.
Okay, my bad.
Okay. Can you see it?
Let's go and look at this map right here. Yeah, so let's keep it real simple, y'all. Ask yourselves. Look how they have America looking smaller than the rest of the world. It looks smaller than all those foreign countries over there, right? And so all of those people are trying to get to America. They want to leave all of the bullshit that's been going on in all those countries. And they want to bring all that bullshit here. Is that true or false? Hey, Buck, what do you think?
That's what I try to tell everybody all the time. You have the rest of the world. You just said it. German America, Chinese American, Japanese American. Everybody's trying to be you, but you always trying to be somebody else, which makes it easier for them to steal your shit because you're not on guard. You got your eyes set over there, walking around a black rock in the middle of the desert. That's your whole spiritual involvement. You want to run over to Rome and worship that, and people are coming over here taking your shit, and you arrogant about it. That's the whole thing that gets me. You arrogant about it. I can do whatever I want to do. You don't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy. Ain't that how you do? And so you see the rest of the world coming over here throat fucking you, and you proud of it. That this is what is happening to us. You just seen last week, a couple of weeks ago, that the oldest longest serving Democrat in the government, when the idea of reparations came up, what did that monkey say? What did he say?
Yo, I didn't even see it. What happened?
Clyburn out of South Carolina. Clyburn said, "We ain't got time for reparations." have heard all the mothers cry. Seen in all these cities that you go across America where you sprawled out on the streets, you filling up the jails. You've been dogged out by this system, and this dude says that we don't need it ain't no time for reparation. Why? So you see coming with this map, all these people coming over, picking up your ideas and your money, your land, because you think you something else. That's the reality what happened. But you get pissed off at me. You cuss me out because I'm shedding light to what's going on, what other people are doing to you. You will pay for that.
Yeah, over the years, pardon me. Excuse me. Over the years, I go back to reading Buck's book, African American Africans, What Every African American Should Know. I reread this book. Pretty much I go back over it like once a month, and it's a great simple read. It's something to keep primary simple concepts in your mind. It keeps you on point. Very brief read. No, it's not very long at all. But it's a great tool for you to keep things in perspective, to stay attentive of yourself. You can go to any of the A4 platforms, A4 Pure. You can go to AfricanAmericanAfricans.org. You can go to shop-a4truth.com. Get yourself a copy of the ebook, and Buck has the second edition soon to be released as well. But we have to focus on ourselves out here, on our American people, not these people that's trying to claim our American identity, not these people that's trying to rob our people blind, not the people that run around supporting confusion. No, we have to support ourselves, your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, etc. Support you and yours. You know who your people is. Just like the foreigners know who they people are. You know who your people are. The same way the foreigners, they invest collectively with each other, the same thing you're supposed to do. You have relative interests. The foreigners, they have their own relative interests. They want to take from you. But what do you want from them, though? Ask yourselves, what do you want from these foreigners? When the foreigners want everything that you have, right? Simple question. What do you want from these foreigners that you can't provide for yourself? Hey, Buck, how do you feel about that?
Oh, well, I was just about to comment on that, man. And just looking at this map, I'm getting more pissed off as I look at this map. You can see it. It's they call this the West over here. Actually, they call the West those are white countries up there in Europe. But you can see, and this is just a straight flat map. But if you look at it on a global scale, you're being invaded. You're being invaded from the east and the west side. Everybody's coming over here to steal your resources, and you got a lot of them because they've been for the last however many years. I don't even know what year it is, because even on time, you don't think America has its own time frame? You let these people from over the water bring their time frame and put it on top of you, and now you march their clock. That's the reality of what's going on. We don't even think about that. What's your days of the year? What's your months? What's your minutes? What's your seconds? Everything that you do is from somebody else. And you know it. But I'm just gonna go along and get along. I'm just gonna do what I can. This is what's happening to us. So what's eventually happening, and if you look at it, reality, we're being wiped out, you guys. And we're one of the main cogs that's making sure that it's happened, that it speeds up. And we stick our chest out about it. We are over here shooting each other in the street, aborting babies. And one of the things about this that we don't take account when we kill each other is this. Remember, the person that you kill or abort has the ability to recreate another one of us. So you kill that off too. That triples our demise. So this is all I'm saying, people. And people who know me know, we got to stop cooming. Really. Because we can't keep blaming other people if we do shit ourselves, and especially if we give them the carte blanche to do it. We don't care we don't care that our daughters are missing. We don't care that they're taking our children and using their body. Are you crazy? We cool and we just want to go buy another wig. We just want to make sure we got some good Jordans on. All this dumb shit, and this ain't the young people, this the older ones too, because they're the ones who taught the younger ones how to do it. We gotta get up off this bullshit, y'all. The time is seriously. We in the fourth quarter with a minute left.
Yeah, I wanna add this to that on what you just said there. So I'm not sure how many of y'all said it earlier regarding that young man out of I don't know where he's from. The young man ABM Almighty J or something like that. Young boy, creative, talented. I don't know the details. Never heard his music before, but we know that this is our American youth being influenced and affected by these social engineering protocols out here. Our youth should not be running around attacking each other for real. We've seen this in the 80s, the 90s, etc. We've seen this throughout the 2000s. We're approaching 2020. Shit's more serious today, just as much as it was 20 years ago. But right now, like Buck just said, we got a minute left on the clock for real. And nobody's telling our people this. Throughout A4, we get all kinds of third parties trying to attack our primary peoples and then our various members. Yo, are y'all aware out there that we have our American people that are heirs that are literally being attacked? I'm talking about murdered, incarcerated, all kinds of shit's going on. And who can we turn to? Who can we depend on and trust for support and security? Now, of course, we should be able to trust and depend on each other for our own security. True indeed. But the thing is, we know that so many people have been compromised, have been traumatized. We need our people that's on point across the country. We need our people on point across the country working together, not working for these foreigners. We taking tremendous losses due to our people working for these foreigners before they work for themselves. I mean, is that serious, y'all?
Well, I can just listen. We can see. I mean, this is for people who have eyes and can see. You see where the youth is, what they call the millennials. You see where they are now as coming up. Are these a group of people who are changing, or are they being dictated by the programmers that are programming them? You don't listen to music anymore. There is no more thing as instruments where brothers get together and take their instrument and make it compatible to the next instrument. You don't have that no more. They're being programmed by computer generated sound. You don't hear the African American community complaining about that. As a matter of fact, you see the African American community getting into that.
Yo, hey Buck, can you pull up the part 10? I want to read something in here which is relevant to this massacre.
Okay, part.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, tell me when to stop.
Okay, can you if you can go to page this is page 6, I believe. Yeah, this page 6.
What page am I? Oh shit, I'm on page 9.
Put it back up also so I can follow along with you. Yeah, Paul, I got multiple devices running right now.
Right here?
Yeah, right there. Okay, so it says here.
Right here?
Go up one more page, please. One page for me. Scroll up just a little bit.
You breaking up, man.
No, I'm saying scroll up one page.
Up one page?
Yes, I'm going to start there and I'm going to read forward. Okay. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the dates in this because these dates are not that long ago in time at all, okay? Now, it says the atrocities which accompanied these violent and disastrous measures were regarded as peculiarly meritorious and most acceptable to an avenging God. Okay, let's continue. Plundered, tortured, expatriated, the Moriscos were still subjected to innumerable vexations. The curse of their race was ever upon them, but they were at last comparatively exempt from the odious imputation of heresy. Now, basically what is being said here, the Moriscos are Moors, Muslims, etc. Now, this is a quote-unquote Christian God that is pretty much pleased with the Moors, the Muslims, etc. being plundered, tortured, expatriated, and etc. Now I'm going to continue down. This is page, hold on, what page is this? This is page 8 that I'm reading from now. It says, after 1595, okay, the most rigid inquisitorial vigilance was unable and unwilling to detect any heterodox opinions or breaches of ecclesiastical discipline amongst these unpromising proselytes. And yet it was notorious that they were ignorant of the doctrines of the church and that competent persons were not appointed to instruct them. That means that basically these people were not given the right information. They wasn't getting the true information. They was given some bullshit. They was appointed people to make sure that the generation after generation, these people stayed stupid. These are the Muslims, the Moors, the Hebrews, etc., the Christians as well. Let's continue. Some zealots indeed maintain that they should not be permitted to communicate. Now pay attention to this here. Some zealots indeed maintain that they should not be permitted to communicate, and that the exposure of the host in their churches was desecration. On the other hand, refused absolution to such as would not acknowledge apostasy. Their confessions were often regarded as feigned, and the priests who received them did not hesitate to violate the obligations of their order by divulging privileged confidences to the magistrate. That means now that basically was supposed to be a preacher, pastor, congregation member, privacy, confidentiality, well, it's non-existent. It's non-existent. You say something to the preacher, pastor, reverend, motherfucker, to your imam, to any of these priests or these religious leaders, yeah, they're going to go tell somebody. We see next that the Morisco, who was a Moor, who was a Muslim, etc., the Morisco could not change his residence without permission. He was not allowed the possession of arms. Pay attention, arms or weapons, okay? Tools for defense and whatever else, okay? The approach within 40 miles of the kingdom of Granada was punishable with death. So Granada's in Spain. We don't need to be involved in these affairs here. These affairs are hundreds, thousands of years old. This has nothing to do with our American people, but we need to be aware because this is the bullshit in which they have brought to our American people here. Now, let me read this part here. Currently I'm on page, this is page 13. Hey, Buck, can you scroll down to page 13 real quick? Oh, that's a great part right there. Oh, shit.
Back up.
No, we can deal with it right here. Okay, it says, in every Moorish community appeared the signs of unutterable misery and woe. The shrieks of frenzied women pierced the air. Old men sobbed upon the hearthstones where had been past the happy days of infancy and youth. Overcome with grief, lifelong friends met in the streets without notice or salutation. Is this what we see in the day right here in America, in our American communities?
Check.
The shrieks of frenzied women pierced the air. Old men sobbed past the happy days of infancy and youth, overcome with grief, lifelong friends met in the streets without notice or salutation. Are you seeing this in your own communities? So many quote unquote black people don't even speak to each other when they see each other, right? How much misery, suffering, and pain do you know is present within your community? Because I've seen it everywhere that I've been throughout our people's communities. Up, man. Yeah, you hear me? Am I clear? Hello? Hey, Buck. Hey, Buck, do you hear me? Yo, hey, Buck, do you hear me? Hello? Let me check the chat.
Tomahawk is breaking up right now, but until he comes back on, I'll try to. Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah. Yeah, they're saying in the chat they can hear me.
Community, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Yeah, in the chat they saying they can hear me though. But all right. Yo, Buck, I'm gonna go to text you. I'm gonna text you so I can keep reading though.
Okay, but you're breaking up, so we can't hear you.
But no, the people in the chat say they can't hear me.
Okay, cool. Okay, no. Well, go cool. I'm probably the one that's not being heard, but that's cool. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, they saying we both sound clear, but yeah, let me go ahead and continue reading though. So this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to what's relevant here, okay? And this is why we titled this.
Read this part right here. Even little children.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, give me one moment. All right, here we go. Even little children, unable to comprehend, yet awed by the prevailing sorrow, cease their play to mingle their tears with those of their parents. As the disconsolate and sobbing multitude, urged on by the ferocious soldiery taught by their religion to regard these victims of national prejudice as enemies of Christ, left their homes behind forever, their trials and sufferings increased with their progress. I mean, this shit's serious, y'all. Buck, what do you think about that?
What goes around comes around. And this is what I mean of us not knowing nothing. We don't now this what you're reading. I'm thinking, I don't know, but I'm thinking the way it's written, you always hear about how the Moors ruled Spain for 700 years. To me, this sounds like Spain is getting their land back, and they're doing something to the Moors to get them off their land.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it makes sense what they're doing to us here. Getting you off your land, shut up, you're an African, you're black, you're colored, you're a Negro, you're what we call you, nigga. And what do we do for, yes, ball, I be whatever you say I is. I guess I'm what you say I is. Because we don't look at things for our point of view, in our point of view. We're always looking at the world in other people's point of view. And I always bring this up, the army. We really don't have nothing to say because remember what the Buffalo Soldiers did? And see, we still jump and clap up and down and pat ourselves on the head for what we did with that. See, you still jump up and down for what's those, the Tuskegee Airmen. How did they make your people are getting treated like shit at home, but yet you're flying off, leaving your people naked when you should be here making sure that nothing happens to them. But you can't do that because you're flying somebody else's jets because convinced you that oil.
Yeah, Buck, you still there?
Boss didn't tell me that. You don't produce cars no more. You don't give your children jobs. You don't build a product and mass export it across the world because boss told you not to.
Yup. And over the years, we let these black self-determined bastards, both male and female, these boule motherfuckers, these black masons and etc. We let these people tell us about everything else that fucks up our reality except for the truth of the matter, such as our American treaties, such as the importance of our constitutions, our confederacies, the truth of our American people. We let them tell us everything else other than the truth of the matter. Wait till she comes in, boy. Hey, yo, fucking up my goddamn thing, man. Shut the fuck up. Yo, my bad. We keep on letting these people tell us what we are supposed to think is important, right? It's our duty to tell people what's important, to make sure that we are properly informed. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. So now, hey Buck, I wanna go ahead and go to page 12, or pardon me, part 12 of this.
Part 12?
Yeah, part 12.
Okay, I'm finding it. Part 12 is here.
Yeah, it says additional considerations.
Okay, what page?
Um, let me see. Let's go to the first quote right there. Let's go to the first quote right there. So where it says, in this excerpt from the book Turks, Moors, and the Englishmen in the Age of Discovery. But yeah, I ask this question here. How can you desire unity with groups of foreign people that are exiles, slaves, and vassals that betray, corrupt, pervert, and assist in conquering anyone they come into contact with? Because that's the Moors, the Africans, the Asians, etc. They have long conflicts with each other. They don't want our people to be aware. They want us to look as though, oh, they're innocent. You know, they're escaping religious persecution and religious freedom and rights and this, that, and the other, right? We're supposed to be concerned with their lives and their existence. But meanwhile, just forget about your own, right? Forget about these people are coming on your land. They're trying to breed with your people, right? They trying to rob you of everything. They want to pollute the air, the water, the soil, everything. They're engaged in various medical and pharmaceutical experiments on your people, but they want to tell you that your people are from elsewhere. This is the betrayal. This is the corruption. This is the perversion. And this is the assistance in which these Muslims, Moors, Hebrews, Christians, etc. are engaged in. Okay, now, so, hey, Buck, let's go to scroll down to this first quote where it starts off saying the Spaniards.
What'd you say?
Let's scroll down to the quote where it begins saying the Spaniards. It says, the Spaniards had treated the Muslim infidel as an object, polarization, and holy destruction, and they began viewing the American Indian in the same light. The Moors are not American Indians / American Negroes. Americans, the Moors are not that. As I said earlier, they have Moorish American. That means it's not an American. We are Americans, they are not. That's the purpose of the prefix. The Moors have associated themselves with the American Indian / American Negro, resulting in our people being treated as the Moors throughout their corrupt and treasonous history. In recent years of studying their literature, you will read how their scholars falsely alter American Indian / American Negro regional names to fit their Islamic narrative. Here's the quote. Similarly, and I posted this numerous times over the years in African American Africans Facebook group, but let's read. Similarly, English colonists and adventurers interchanged discourses and prejudices as they crisscross between the Muslims in the Mediterranean and the Indians in America, drawing on their eschatological and military fears of the Turks and Moors and on the writings of anti-Muslim and anti-Indian Spaniards. English colonists applied the imagery they had designated for the Muslims on the Indians. Do you understand the significance of this? This is the relevance. The foreigners are applying what they perceive or what they know, all of their experiences with the Africans, who are the Muslims, the Hebrews, etc., right? They have applied that onto our American people. Meanwhile, we have these black whoever's, right? Muslims, Moors, Mohammedans, Christians, whoever. We got these black bastards who are literally telling our people to be other than everything other than what we truly are. Let's continue. In the same way that the Mohammedans were beasts, wild and bloody and cruel, the Indians became doleful creatures, the various ruins of mankind, devil worshippers, flying serpents. It is significant that Thomas Brightman, 1562 to 1607, one of the two most influential eschatologists in the 17th century Britain, denounced the Muslims and threatened them with divine destruction. So hold on, that shooting that just took place in New Zealand, right? Well, I mean, that's nothing new. Would that be considered divine destruction from a Christian, Catholic, Jesuit perspective? Would it not be? But since he was writing before the British colonial venture to America had taken shape, he had no mention of the Indians. Pay attention, y'all. In the writings of Joseph Mead, 1586 through 1638, however, the other influential eschatologist, the Indians were depicted as worshippers of the devil, who, like the Muslims, you see, who, like the Muslims, would lead the satanic attack on Christendom, but would ultimately be defeated. Now, this is what the foreigners have pre-programmed their people with since the 16th century. They came here under the Inca Terra. That's the papal bull that pertains to the Americas, that pertains to the conquest and the destruction of our American people. That's the papal bull that pertains to our American people, not dumb diverses. Dumb diverses pertains to those Africans, those Muslims. Those are the Saracens and the Pharisees and etc. Those are them. Our American people, completely different, have nothing to do with these Muslim and all these foreign black activities. Nothing to do with them, and we cannot allow any of these foreigners to place us into any of their categories. Beginning in the 1630s, when Mead's writings were published, therefore, the Indians were joined to the Muslims as enemies of Christ and categorized as infidels and heathens, exactly as the Muslims had been categorized for centuries. Now, here's some side notes here. 2 acts passed in November of 1682, joined quote-unquote Native Americans and Africans into one racial category, Negroes and other slaves. This is the foreigners' writings here. That's cited from the Statutes at Large, Volume 2, pages 481 through 42. You'll see source, Henning edition, the Statutes at Large, Volume 2. We must inform you the Native Americans are not American Indians, period. Native Americans ain't American Indians. Look at it. It's called Bureau of Indian Affairs, not Bureau of Native American Affairs. That's simple. So, I'm gonna try to post this information to the group again. I made videos out of this PowerPoint presentation a couple years ago. I'll go ahead and release it again. I might release the PDFs for your reading pleasure right through A4 Pure as well. You know what I mean? But this information is for our true American people, not those that want to be confused and all of that. I'm not with that nonsense at all. This is quality research, quality time that we take to make sure our people have the right information. You know what I mean? Hey, Buck, I'm pretty much done. I'm gonna take a look at the chat. Yeah, how you doing?
Okay, hey, I just want to that's the other word I was looking for, Native American. See, we get caught up into these words and we start putting them on ourselves, and it has nothing to do with us. Native American means foreigner. Jesus wasn't native to Bethlehem. He was native to Bethlehem. He was born there. That's all native means, is born in a particular place. He was indigenous to Nazareth, Nazarene, or wherever, but he was born in Bethlehem. He was native to, that's why they call it the nativity scene. He was native to where the story is telling you about Bethlehem. So when we call ourselves Native Americans, and this is the kind of stuff we really got to get a hold on, because we look stupid when we say all these terms, and we do it with the arrogance that we do it in. I mean, it's mind-boggling. We don't be knowing what the hell we be talking about, but talking about like we invented the term itself. You are not Native Americans. Native America come from over there in Russia and Siberia somewhere, but that's what we call ourselves. That's what we refer ourselves to. And the time for that, nobody told me. I didn't know. We're gonna have to get off that shit, cuz we keep doing it. I didn't know. Huh? Nobody told you. Gotta look this stuff up yourself. You gotta think. You see what's happening to us out here, and as long as you keep going with these dumb terms, you're helping to tear down the destruction of us that much quicker, because you don't know. And it ain't no excuse why you don't know. Because if you've been following this group, everything you need to know, you go ask your grandmama who her people was. And I bet you $1, she ain't gonna tell you they from some Africa. You ask a 5-year-old kid, what do you think of the possibilities of a slave ship full of people coming from Africa to America? A kid who hasn't been totally twisted will tell you, are you a fool? But you have college professors, people that you fill their pockets with. I have seen Negroes give these Negroes they check to support that nonsense. But we ask you to buy a ebook and you tell us to fuck off. Okay.
Yo,
okay.
Hey Buck, I just want to address something in the chat real quick. I appreciate everything that you said. Yo, healing through inspiration. Check this out. Before you even knew what the word indigenous meant, right? Buck has been talking about it. The word indigenous means to come from the land. All right. We've already been through this information years ago. So don't come to this channel, don't come to this platform telling any of our peoples how to communicate, because we're not the ones out here communicating that people are ninjas and all that bullshit. You understand? Go promote whatever you want to promote on your channel. It's that fucking simple, man. Cowboy season is over. We ain't with that bullshit over here.
And
straight up, man.
And to that idiot that he was just talking to, this is another thing. So let's look at the term black. If you look at the term black, it has the two words in it, be lack. Now, if you look at how these words are spelled on these pages, you'll see mulattoes are spelled different. A lot of the words are spelled different. Turks are spelled different. Moors are spelled different, because when you go back, the spellings are different. They use different ways to spell it. Here's an example. If you go back into King Henry VIII had a Bible, and it said in the beginning, it's had beginning spelled way too long. It's not spelled how it's spelled now. So when you look at words like indigenous, when you look at words like black, be lack, that should be an insult to you right there. Be lack. Be lack. Don't lack everything. This is their code word to themselves. You get it, like the brother who Tomahawk was just talking to. You get it and try to make a point out of it, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But you're confused, everybody, and you won't even change. You'll get pissed off because we bringing this up to you and get mad and go in your ways, and you won't say, damn, that makes sense. Indigenous simply means you're from the land right here. In ND genes. ND, I mean, it's right there in the world. Break it up yourself. Think. And one of the things that the so-called African American Negro don't do, he don't think. He doesn't figure out. He doesn't figure out things. He doesn't follow dots. He doesn't try to fit the round hole into the round square. He never does that. He just picks up something that ain't what it means, and confuses everybody who he comes in contact with. So I would say this to the brothers who are studying: think, because if it's something that you don't know how to do, contact us. We have a day class to show you how to do that. Think about what's being said and what's being communicated to you. Because most of the things that are being communicated to you are communicated to you to make you give up what you have. So, Tomahawk, you got any last words?
Yo, hands down, cowboy season is over. Yo, mind your business. Know what your business is. Kill foreign media, kill confusion, kill propaganda, kill your TV. Support your own. Support those that support you. Get into your genealogy. If you need to, run back the past 8-4 presentations. Go to AfricanAmericans.org. Media content is on there. You know, Buck has been giving information for years now. For years. Check out Buck channel. Clean information, clear information.
The information's out there, y'all. We don't have no excuse. You got so-called indigenous groups fighting over each other because of who to call or what to call a chief. Chiefs don't pay rent. See, this is what we do. We get caught with stupid stuff, and it's that easy to trick us. It's that easy to make us fall and trip over each other because we, in our selfish ways, and many elders have told me this, we're in the position that we're in now because we are some selfish people. They ain't never lied. You will give a foreigner the clothes off your back, but shoot your sister if she wear your dress. Tell me I'm lying. Thank you for listening to African Americans Ain't Africans. We've been on hiatus. We've been doing a lot of work. We've been trying to get some stuff done. We need your support. Please go to AfricanAmericans.org. Get the ebook. Get a t-shirt. Support us. We're trying to do some things, but we can only do so little because, you know, all the support is going to the foreigners. And we
hey, let me add this to your equation too, man. Essentially, same way our people participate in third-party activities, you know, giving attention, giving life, giving your good energy, our American energy to everyone else that's not American, right? We got to restore our energy being directed back to our American people, man. It's that simple. American energy is ours, period. The land, the resource, etc. It's ours. Everyone else, they supposed to have their energy where they from. Commerce and diplomacy, that ain't got nothing to do with this real world situation where nobody gives a fuck about our American people. We are the ones that got to give a fuck about each other. Our youth out here getting punished every day. The young boys just did whatever to that other young boy. They just caught Fed time. The feds just snatched them up yesterday, apparently, right? Are we going to continue watching our youth get caught up in nonsense? I mean, it's that simple, yeah? I mean, we got to really ask ourselves, what choices do we want to make for ourselves together collectively? All that selfishness, that shit got to go, man. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Stop doing the same things. Straight up. Stop doing the same things. Stop watching Oprah if you know she's full of shit. Stop watching these celebrities and contract whores say and do stupid shit. Stop it. You got a choice to make. Are you responsible or irresponsible? That's a choice to make. To be or not to be. It's not a question. It's an answer. Are you going to be or are you not going to be? Do you want to exist or do you not want to exist? My apologies. I get excited. Yo, Cowboy season is over. African American Africans, A4 truth, A4 pure, A4 get them, A4 got them. Let's go.
Stop cooning, y'all. Peace.